Hey, it's me, Claire Fluffle, and it's been a while. I could talk about why, or we could get this video started. I think I like that one a little bit more. With that said, wow, Return Deluxe comes out in a week, and the demo is already out. With the demo being already out, I thought, wow, I wonder how quickly you can beat the demo, which is already out. But instead of using an ability that speedrunners already know is fast, like fire or something, nah, sand is right here, and it's a new, fun ability. I love sand. It's soft and sophisticated and doesn't get anywhere. Plus, I've got some history with going through this game really quickly, or at least the original. I'm actually doing a series where I any percent speedrun the original with only one ability. Check out the full playlist if you want to see those. They're honestly super fun. They were also supposed to be done before the remake came out, but sand. It was because of sand. Yeah. Because sand didn't like, comment, and ring the notification bell to be notified as soon as I upload after subscribing. Don't be like sand, everybody. Support your starving artists for free or financially. I don't know. This metaphor is escaping me. So we'll find out how good or bad sand is soon enough. But for those of you who are new here, or if you need a refresher since it's been 2 months, good grief. The way that these runs work is that I take an ability and speedrun the entirety of Kirby's Return to Dreamland with that ability. Pretty simple, but in the case of the Return Deluxe demo, which is already out, I've decided to use an already cleared file since there's no easy way to delete your save data. I'd have to go to the Switch home menu to do that, and with how many mistakes can be made in a run, I figured, why not? Let's just make this easier on ourselves. Because we're doing it like this, I don't even have to mix. Oh, life is good. Life is good. So we start off with the first level, and the first thing that many of you will notice is that even though sand has this whoa dash attack, I'm using Kirby slide kicks. But why? Well, there's this thing called end lag that cripples a lot of moves in Kirby. Basically, end lag is how long it takes for an attack to end. As you can see, slide kicks have next to none, while sand's dash attack has enough. You'll notice that I actually am using sand's dash attack sometimes, since it does go a little farther and goes through enemies. It also doesn't lose all momentum when going off ledges, although most times doing a simple short hop off of ledges and doing that into a slide kick or something gets the job done. Because of course it does. But that's stuff that channel familiars already knew. It is nothing too crazy. Even just looking at this first room though, there is a lot that's changed from the original Return to Dreamland compared to Deluxe. First, on the topic of these ledges that I've suddenly become so enamored with, do you see how Kirby just kinda drops to the ground at the very start instead of slowly falling? It's a bit easier to notice here later in the level. But why? Basically, Triple Deluxe added this nifty thing to Kirby's moveset called Quick Fall, allowing Kirby to fall quick as soon as the player presses down in the air twice. The original, obviously coming out before TDX, didn't have this, so the devs have righted the wrong of this travesty and added it here. For abilities like sand that spend all of their best years on the ground, this is a crucial addition. Not only that, but you'll notice, even later into the level, I do a slide kick into a float. But why? Well, in the original, this was a pretty simple yet very satisfying series of slide kicks that canceled into each other. It looks really cool, and well, technically you can still do it in Return Deluxe. See, doesn't it just look so cool? Oh my god! Kirby's weight and momentum have changed since the original. Kirby is naturally heavier and doesn't move as far horizontally when jumping and such, so unless you're holding forward while doing slide kicks, Kirby will either fall through the hole or float if you're mashing too quickly. Honestly, I'm not crazy about this, putting it lightly, but I am tired of being negative about this game, so we're gonna move on. There isn't much to say regarding the next couple of rooms. You can see the instances where using sand's dash attack is useful, particularly for ledges and or enemies, but if you've played Return to Dreamland before, you'll become lost and afraid when you end up here. What happened? Is everything I've known in my life so far a lie? No, this isn't just Cookie Country 1. Since this is the demo, which is already out, they sprinkled in other areas to give newcomers some more familiarity with the game. It is really neat. A for effort, I like it. But now you may be wondering, Claire, you enter this room and then for some reason you float for a second and then air puff and it's back to normal. But we'll sticky note this for now and come back to it later. Oh, trust me, we'll come back to it later. This room does have one more talking point with this jump here. In the original, it was easy peasy, but here you have to start your jump at the very edge of this star rock boulder thing. You can see as it stands, I am pretty close to missing it, and this is honestly something I'm a bit conflicted about. See, for casual play, it doesn't matter. Straight up, just doesn't matter at all. But for doing speedruns like this, it's honestly kind of important, and I don't like it. I don't mind tight windows, but for something as simple as this, especially when that same something wasn't nearly this bad in the original, I don't know, because it's so simple, it just kind of annoys me. No more being a negative Nancy, stop! Stop! I talked way too long about that to begin with, so let's move on to the super ability. That's right, super abilities with their dazzling new animations, the increase in run speed, and... Wait, we're ignoring them? Yes, this is an ability solo and all that jazz, and super abilities are abilities. Literally, it's in their name. Hello! But even if it wasn't, the animations just take way too much time for an any percent speedrun. That's unfortunate, but it does allow us to take advantage of more of Sand's moveset. What? Sand has this high jump jumping attack that, well, you see, this attack, it jumps high and damages enemies. Unfortunately, it's much shorter than the actual high jump, so we're unable to make giant leaps above enemies. Still, it's faster than just floating over them, so in my book, it's a win. We don't use it often, but one of my favorite uses of it is coming up soon, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled for that. But for something that's fantastic for basically everything except speedrunning that our eyes have already been peeled to, let's talk about the added flair found in this deluxe game. The end of the level, dance, and the shooting star load screens. These are wonderful, and I love how much personality they add to a game already filled to the brim with it. Tragically for us, both of these wind up adding a lot of time compared to how quickly and efficiently the original handled these. As is to say, load times were crazy short, and there was no end-of-level dance. Or spin? Whatever you want to call it. While these are undeniably fantastic touches, for the sake of what we're doing, this does make Return Deluxe ever so slower. Slower or not, that first level is now over. For brevity's sake, I'm not going to go into too much detail with the second. It's certainly fun, but most of what I have to say would be repeating information, so I'll just stick to a basic little clip show playing in the background, and this really cool 1 second at most time save where you use the invincibility of Sand's high jump to move through this moving boulder. The dash attack and jump high-ish both don't stay invincible, plus they both have too much end lag on them to work on any of the other boulders, but this one here looks pretty heckin' cool. I like it. It's good. I still don't want to skip this whole level though, so just because I can, we'll once again go over a super ability area, only this time, we skip the monster flame instead. Hey! Immediately we have another tight jump that I could complain about, but instead, I want to highlight the moving platform here. Timing this is actually really hard because of the enemies and potential time loss of messing it up. But thankfully, so long as the positioning is okay, Sand's dash attack can handle the rest. The same applies to the Waddle Dees over here, except it's even harder, and oftentimes it's just worth it to take a little hit and brute force your way onward. Oh, but the 2 high jumps later on in this room, they're very cool. I'm still a fan. I wish the end lag on this attack was just slaughtered, but I don't know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. And with that, the last obstacle of the demo, which is already out, is Wispy. We haven't seen how Sand deals with bosses yet, so how does it do? Based on what we've already seen, one may assume that we use the dash attack, or that high jump move, or something, right? Oh, or maybe the charge attack with the giant fist. Well, you're close, especially considering that we do use that attack, but from some extensive testing, the best damage dealing method that I found with Sand was using this upward sand dance attack. Fine, I give up on this one. I'm gonna call it by its name. We use Sandstorm, and by allowing the full attack to come out, Sand Hurricane. The damage this deals to a stationary target like Wispy is really impressive, especially if you have your timing down and can start using it again immediately after it finishes. After 2 of these, Wispy is already almost at phase 2, which is kind of insane if you think about it. Speaking of phase 2, unlike the original, when Wispy inhales you, you don't lose your ability. most of the time. So as a huge time-saving measure, you don't have to get rid of your ability and can just let Wispy inhale you. It's pretty epic, and afterwards, you can just repeat the process that you did for Phase 1. You do need to be very efficient here, though, as where the Gordo drop seems way more consistently not in your favor compared to the original. Maybe I was just having bad luck, but in nearly every single run that I did, the Gordo landed right on top of me and costed me just enough time for me to miss my goal. See, I wanted to get below 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and my best time was 6 minutes and 50 seconds. The footage is actually from the best run that I had, which I streamed on my Twitch channel, by the way. Go follow me there. And I got a time of 6:50:31. And sure, the Gordo cost me, but you know what else costed me just enough time? You know what it is? You know legitimately what it is, chat? What is the difference between a 650 and a 649 for me? Floating in that one room that I keep telling myself not to float in. That's like legitimately all this is gonna take. Once I stop doing that, like I have it. So, there you go. You can clear the demo, which is already out, after already clearing it in under 6 minutes and 50 seconds. But I was only able to get 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Oof. On a new file, it shouldn't take too much longer than 7 minutes. Really, all you have to do is deal with those new door animations and mixing for sand. But at the same time, I could see someone randomly getting that time really low and actually under 7 minutes. But what did you all think? If you had fun watching, feel free to let me know, of course, and tell me how excited you are to mess around with the sand once Return Deluxe comes out. Until then, I have been Claire, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you around. Bye!